Announcement for Week 6, TE 869, Introduction to Library Media. Well, I've really been enjoying our discussions about collaboration and assessment this week. It's great to hear what you are all doing that works, and it's also kind of fun to see those light bulbs go off when you get some new ideas. The Information Literacy Integration Project is due Sunday, October 3rd. Follow the instructions under Week 6. It's a really good idea to check out the examples, the samples, the grading criteria before you upload your project. Now, I've included a planning template, and that's the one that looks like this, and it's based on the AASL 21st Century Learning Standards. It's really good to get in the habit of using it. I used it all the time when I worked with teachers. Also, I've got some assessment tools that might be helpful. Some people get confused about this, so let me just explain. The content standards assessment is the rubric or checklist you would use to verify that students understand the content of the lesson, say the history, the social studies, the science part that the teacher is teaching. Now, the teacher is almost always responsible for this rubric. The information literacy assessment, however, is the tool that you would use to verify that students understand how to do the process of information literacy. Now, that's primarily the responsibility of the school librarian. Both of these assessment tools should be customized for the particular unit or project that you're working on. I've included AASL 21st Century Standards checklist, and that's posted under Week 6. Now, here's what it looks like. Hope you can see it. So all you need to do is split the tasks up that you're assigning for this project and put them here. They're in the sideways, and I've set the template up so that you can type sideways like this. And then you take a look at the standards that are addressed and fit them here. Of course, you will have in mind some of these things, but to put particular standards in, then that's when you use this row. And then when you get ready to use it, you put the students' names here and you're good to go. Now, when you're doing the lesson, you would use this checklist as you go along. Oftentimes, I would have students in, say, the computer lab, and I would walk around with this checklist and take a look at their screens. I found that if I used a U-shaped computer lab, it worked the best. I could tell, for instance, one of the standards is can take notes from a website. Well, you take a look, and as your students are working in the U-shaped computer lab, you can see, are they on an appropriate website? And that is another one of the checklist areas, one of the tasks. And that's pretty easy then to go through and check each student's name. And then taking appropriate notes, just going around and taking a look at each student to see if they're doing that. And you continue to check. If you find, say, a group of 5 or 6 kids that are not learning how to take notes from a website, then you pull those kids aside and do a mini lesson with them. Maybe not at that immediate time, but you can work at another time. And that's really the best use of this checklist, is to figure out which kids quickly are doing what they should be doing. And you find out quickly how they're doing that. And if they're not, then you drop back and punt. You figure out a way to teach them on the run so that they can learn to do it. So hopefully that'll help you as you plan your information literacy integration project. Some people visualize differently, so I've included one other type of information literacy assessment under Week 6, and there's a sample there for you. You can create your own information literacy assessment from this one if it makes more sense to you. As always, email me if you have any questions. Now, this week, we're looking at either a fantasy or historical fiction novel of your choice that fits your literature log. It's a good idea to make sure that fits into your plan, of course. Anything you read for these discussions along the lines of literature will count for your literature log, so it's really kind of smart to look ahead and plan that way. Now, Fantasy is one of my favorites. I love historical fiction too, but I don't know if you've noticed little signs in my office. If you've been on my office on campus, you certainly would, that I'm a very big Wizard of Oz fan. And there's clues. Well, okay, I'll show you a couple of my things. My Wizard of Oz pillow, which is in this room. And I have a pretty decent collection of Wizard of Oz books. And if you look up there, you see that basket? That's a Dorothy's basket, and in it are a lot of fun memorabilia. So if you have collections and different types of things that you use to teach literature, it's a good week to talk about that. So I'm really looking forward to this discussion. It's one of my favorites all semester. Have a great week.